Now you can see Jada Franson in the background. Um, I am boycotting baseball probably forever, but at least for a very long time. And technically, I was boycotting it anyway for a while, but now it's like a real official. Like, I don't want to watch. I don't want to see none of that shit. Okay, I have been a true Yankees fan for many years. My brothers are Yankees fans. Um, my nephews, all that, my whole family basically. My uncle, my father's youngest brother, is very much a true, absolute Yankees fan. Oh, okay, very, very passionate. He's met most of them. He used to own a bar many years ago. He worked as a longshoreman for many years, retired with a pension, but he also owned a bar for a period of time. And he would go to clubs. He would go places where there would be stars. There was one time he was at his own bar, and Joe DiMaggio was in the area, New Jersey, somewhere. And he actually got his autograph, okay? My grandmother knew Babe Ruth personally. If you ever see a picture of Yankee Stadium in the 20s, the newspaper kid is my great uncle. I don't know how many newspaper kids there were at Yankee Stadium, but one of them was my uncle. So if you have an old Yankees Stadium photograph where they sell newspapers, I don't know what paper he worked for, but odds are one of them is my uncle, my great uncle. My grandmother knew Babe Ruth himself. My grandmother was born in Schenectady, moved down to the Bronx, and then years later she moved to Newark, New Jersey, and she remained there until she died at age 98. She lived in, okay, but she did spend her preteen years in the Bronx, in the area by Yankee Stadium, and Babe Ruth really did bring the kids to play ball with him. They would mostly go to a small field. They wouldn't go onto the stadium itself. They would go into like a small baseball field, and Babe would play with them, throw the ball to them, pitch them, okay, hit off them. Babe Ruth would bring them to the sweet shop for ice cream and soda, okay. Babe Ruth really did that stuff, and my grandmother really was with him many times. And then he would go out and be with prostitutes. And every time I would see Babe Ruth talking about prostitutes or them saying Babe Ruth and his prostitutes, I would always say, how long were you with the prostitute after with my grandmother? So he'd be with my grandmother one minute buying her ice cream, and then he'd be in the whorehouse the next minute. Yeah. But I am done with America's pastime. I'm just done with it. Now, I remember when I was younger, 1994, 5-ish, they went on strike, and the season was never completed. And they wanted more money. They made a lot of money, especially for guys that play ball a few months a year, do conventions a few months a year. But there's a couple of solid months in baseball and football. There's a couple of solid months where the team does not require them. No practice, no game, no autograph signing, no conventions. And they have a few months free, like teachers do. Only they make a lot more, okay? The guy in any baseball club, the guy that cleans the fucking toilet makes more money than most teachers do, okay? They make a lot of money. And when you look at it logically, hitting a ball is not important, okay? Sanitation workers are important, nurses are important, soldiers are important, firemen are important, police are important, okay? Hitting a ball is not going to run society. Hitting a ball, catching a ball, running with the ball, stuff like that, that's important for entertainment. But society will survive without you. No matter what ball you play, whether you're this ball, that game, you want here, you want. Society will live without you. Okay, we can function, okay? You don't grow the food, okay? You don't save guys having a heart attack, okay? You don't defend the border, okay? We can live without you. Okay? You know how many times I had to run from an oncoming car to save a kid's life or save a kid from being injured? Or an adult even? Okay? Yeah. Society can't exist without you play. All you play is golf, baseball, basketball, badminton, okay? tennis, okay, so soccer, Megan Rapinoe, okay, we can live without you. Now, in baseball, because baseball and liberalism in general is the concept of, first and foremost, communism. But liberalism today is about punishing people for things that happened 200 years ago. Okay, that's cool. Let's examine that, shall we? Segregation was illegal in 1870. Okay, federal law dictated that segregation was a federal crime until 1870. But the Democratic Party, primarily at the state level or city level, was able to do segregation for an additional 95 years. 95 years. Okay, additional. But even to this day, the Democratic Party still does segregation. Okay, if you go to any Democrat city, Detroit, LA, San Fran, Baltimore, Chicago, okay, you will see that all of the blacks are in poverty. Blacks go to fucking schools. Okay, the number one cause of death in the black neighborhood is abortion. The number two cause of death in the black neighborhood is black on black violence. And then you have a black kid that goes to a really nice school, or a black kid that wants to go to law school, or even a black kid that wants to buy a hot dog truck and sell hot dogs in the business district, okay? Uncle Tom, Sambo, House Nigger, Aunt Jemima, okay? Justice Thomas said it himself. Blacks who wish to do for themselves, think for themselves, have their own ideas, okay, are lynched. Okay, any black kid that wants to play the violin, any black girl that wants to dance ballet, any black kid that wants to go to college, any black kid that wants to open a business, any black person that wants to in any shape, way, or form improve their lives is an outcast. Okay? And the Democratic Party is institutionalizing poverty and institutionalizing racism. Now, baseball, because we're punishing people for crimes of the past, baseball practiced segregation for no less than 7 decades. Now, granted, the Negro players were very good players in their own right, but they should have been allowed to play with the whites. Some Negro players did play in the white league as Hispanic or Native American in disguise. And then Jackie Robinson was the first player to play in the league as a black person without being hidden by, he didn't say he was Hispanic. He didn't say he was Native American. Okay, he said, I am black. He was the first black person to break the color barrier as an official black person. The other guy snuck under the radar. The more you know. So if we're punishing people for crimes they committed many years ago, we should boycott the MLB because they practice segregation. Some ball teams practiced individually worse things. Example, Boston, 50 years ago, was not very friendly to black fans. 50-some odd years ago, black fans in Boston will get the shit beat out of them at Fenway Park. That doesn't happen now, I don't think, but it did a long time ago. So we should punish them for that. Baseball, as I said, in the 90s, 94, 95, went on strike for more money. Well, you know what? A guy that has to get up at 6 a.m., because my father was still working. My father hadn't retired up in 97. My father was saying the baseball players, they should get up at 6 a.m. and get a paper bag lunch. Okay? People that have to get up at 6 a.m. and go to work and pay their bills don't give a fuck about you crying about and then not making enough money. Okay? You're making 50 times the amount of money your fans are making, if not more. Okay? Guy has to save up for a month to take his kids to a ball game. Okay? He has to probably suck his dick to get to the front door. Okay? All these ball games, all these stadiums, all the Yankees this, Red Sox that, Bears, or whatever your club is, whatever your mascot is, whatever your team is, okay, whatever your sport is, okay. Games are crazy, okay. I remember, God, I stopped going to games years ago because I couldn't fucking afford it, okay. I gotta pay this much money for the parking. Okay, I haven't been to Yankee Stadium in years, and I'm not going now, obviously. Now let's talk about drug addiction. Years ago, baseball players said they stopped chewing tobacco because their young fans are picking up the habit. Okay, cool. How about steroids? You have illegal drugs that are being trafficked across state lines. They're either being bought or sold across state lines, but they're being transported when the teams go on the road. And you have men in the locker room or in the hotel room that are shooting their asses up with a hypodermic needle. Okay? So let's talk about drug addiction. Okay? Because steroids is a drug. Okay? You don't want to practice and train hard and earn the record honestly like Roger Maris did or Hank Aaron did. No, you want to put that shit up your ass and pump up and you want to win the sport like that. Okay, well, fuck you. Okay? We tell kids don't do drugs. And they see you guys walking around juicing your asses up and your heads look like a fucking balloon. And you got a fucking head this fucking big. Okay? And your arms and veins are popping out of your arms. Okay? And you can barely walk, your head just start fucking swaying so hard. Okay? You're talking about, integrity and shit. Okay? How about BLM? Okay? I remember after 9/11, I remember Yankees and Arizona Diamondbacks World Series. Okay? I remember Yankees hosting firemen, hosting cops, hosting this, hosting that. I remember after the Boston bombing, and if you see the movie with Mark Wahlberg, even though Mark Wahlberg is a fictional character, the end of the movie shows the real life cops on the field in Baltimore, in Fenway Park. Fenway Park honored the cops that took down White Hat and Black Hat. I'm not going to say the real names, obviously. Okay? Police are great. Firemen are great. Our first unit, okay? And now you got, BLM this and BLM. Okay, well, BLM hates cops. Okay? And BLM burns down black neighborhoods. Okay? So you're saying, well, racism is a problem in America. We got to fight systemic racism. Okay? Fight racism. Fight racism by condemning BLM. Okay? Burning down black neighborhoods and all the bullshit, okay? Hating cops, shooting. David Dorn was a black cop. They shot him in the back. How do you feel about that? Okay? When baseball, football, the other fucking sports came out, and they came back from the pandemic, what did they fucking do? National anthem, they go fucking kneel or sit for the national anthem. Okay? Fuck it. Alright? There was one incident where I saw, I don't remember his name, I don't care anyway. But there was a news report that said the cops shot a black guy in the back. Okay. Before you find out the first thing, what do? Baseball, basketball, and football all got up and all walked off the field. Now, what we find out later is the person in question had been convicted of rape. He was accused of shoving his hand up his ex-girlfriend's vagina, pulling his hand out. You've been with other men, okay? And the police came to investigate him because he was violating a restraining order, okay? And then when he went into his car to flee police while they were trying to detain him, he allegedly reached for a weapon, okay? Now, imagine if you or I or anybody at all said, you know what? I just heard over the news the cop shot somebody. I'm out of here. And you just got and walked off work. Your boss would fire you. Okay? Your boss would fire you. Okay? They didn't walk off the job to support all the black kids that are killed by black and black violence. Do you know how many innocent little black kids are killed every day in this country because of black on black violence? Okay? You have black gang members that shoot at each other, and the bullet goes, and it's a little kid. And it's always a nice little kid. It's a little kid that goes to church. It's a little kid that does his homework, her homework. It's a little kid that wants to be successful. Okay, it's little kids that want to make a difference, okay? All these black kids, every day in this country, Chicago, Detroit, okay, LA, Baltimore, New York City, they're all shot every single day. I never once saw a single player of any sport walk off the field or walk off the court to support a black kid killed by black on black violence? How about abortion? Abortion has killed 1/3 of the black race in this country over a 3-generation period. I have never in my life seen a player of any sport walk off the field or the court to support black kids killed in abortion. Okay, we're going to talk more about abortion in a minute. Truth hurts, isn't it, right? Now, MLB, they do business in China. What is it? I don't know, and I don't care. Okay, I don't know if they sell merchandise in China or if they have, I don't know what the fuck. MLB has contracts in China. Okay, how does the Chinese country make stuff? They have kids that are 8 years old in a fucking sweatshop, 12 hours a day, making 2 cents a month. Okay. Okay. Now, China right now has Muslims in internment camps. They're being re-educated. Okay? Now, I don't give a fuck if it's the U.S. government throwing the natives off their land and putting them in reservations. I don't give a fuck if it's Franklin Roosevelt putting the Japanese Americans in camps. Okay? I don't give a fuck if it's Hitler putting the Jews, the gays, the gypsies, the mentally ill, the physically ill in camps. Okay? Putting people in a camp because of their race or their religion is wrong, period, regardless of who does it. Okay? And in China right now, there are Muslims in concentration camps. They're being re-educated. There's also rumors about forced sterilization and genocide, but they are at least being detained in camps against their will. And we've seen video footage of them being taken to camps like prisoners, okay? But they're not prisoners that they committed a crime. They're prisoners because they're political prisoners, okay? MLB has contracts with them. You don't give a fuck. In fact, Disney filmed the live-action version of Mulan in that area of China. So, yeah. Now, MLB moved the All-Star game to Colorado, where there are less black people, right? And Colorado has stricter voting laws than Georgia does, believe it or not. Okay. In fact, in New York, in New York State, recently adopted early voting. And early voting here is 9 days early. And Georgia is like 19 days early, I think. But MLB has their headquarters in New York City. Okay, New York City. How many black kids in New York City go to failing schools? In New York City, there are more black babies aborted than born. That's right. New York City, right at this moment, is experiencing a genocide of the black baby in the womb. There was a gentleman in the Bronx who was caught on video. He was walking across the street holding his 6-year-old daughter's hand, and someone stopped their car, rolled down their window, and shot him in the head and killed him in front of his 6-year-old daughter. And now his 6-year-old daughter has joined the 70% of black children that don't have a father. I don't hear MLB, I don't hear NFL, I don't hear NBA, I don't hear none of you motherfuckers talking about that. Okay? You're all a bunch of fucking hypocrites. Okay? And don't comment about my mole. Don't comment about my shirt, okay? Don't comment about that fucking shit, okay? Because I put a fucking video. Hey, you got a mold. I know I got a molded motherfucker. Shut up. Hey, I don't like your shirt. Fuck you, you don't like my shirt. It's not your shirt. Fuck you, okay? All this bullshit, black, okay? Hashtag we're woke. Hashtag we're aware, okay? They release statements. Georgia is discriminating against black people. Georgia's racist against black people. Fuck you, okay? You're racist against black people, okay? MLB, 7 decades of segregation, okay? Give me a fucking break. We're talking about the past, okay? MLB, to this day, you got guys pumping their ass with steroids. Take the fucking needle, fill it up, and pump it up their ass. Is it a clean needle? Do they share the needle? Are they gonna get AIDS in a couple years? I don't know. Okay? MLB, all a bunch of fucking hypocrites, okay? Same for NBA. Same for fucking NFL, for NBA, NBA, and fucking NFL. They're even better. I love them. Okay, they're like, well, let's talk about social justice. Okay, how many guys in NBA and NFL beat the shit out of their wives? Okay, you got dudes in NFL that are involved in dog fighting. Okay, they're beating the shit out of their wives when they get home. Okay, okay, and they're gonna talk about fucking morality. Who the fuck are you to talk about anything? Okay, I'm sick of all you fucking people talking to me about morality. Okay, I'm sick of it. Okay, you want to lecture me about morality. Okay, and then you want to turn around and be like, well, China gave me a lot of money, so I'm gonna close my eyes about the Muslims in the concentration camp. Okay, or my headquarters is in New York City, but I got a nice office there, so I'm gonna forget about the black babies being aborted. Okay, you're all a bunch of fucking hypocrites. Okay, you're not gonna see me in your stadiums anymore. Okay, I'm not gonna buy your merchandise anymore. I'm not gonna watch your games. Okay, go fuck yourselves, right here. Okay, thank you.